if you want to shoot
Yeah,
out to your audience
yeah, I
here.
will.
Should be going live should be live now. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Wolf. It's great to see all
Yo,
of you here. We're back. We are so back. Another Trader Talk. It's just me and Bits today. Going to do some TA, some analysis stuff. Jump into some of the higher time frames, some of the lower time frames. I know we want to take a poke at ETH, some of the privacy coins, even maybe, and other things that are on Mr. Bits of Wealth's mind. Bits of Wealth, we've been making fun of certain individuals and groups in the last few minutes offline. But GM, how are you?
yo, yeah, it's so funny. Like, there's plenty of banter and just just good chit chat that you can do offline. But sometimes it's like after the fact, I should have, we should have recorded that. That was actually pretty good.
Yep.
That would have been funny. That would have been
100%.
entertaining, at
Yeah,
least. So
it would have
it
been.
happens, man. But yo, what's up, Kelly? We got Kelly in the house.
All right,
How you
let's
doing,
go.
man?
Kelly, good to see you.
Dude, what a crazy time in crypto right now. People are losing their minds, and it's so interesting to watch. It is just fascinating to watch
We're
it
about
right
to
now.
lose 89. We're like at the
Yeah,
bottom of 89 right now.
dude. I'm not even. Let me grab my chart and I'll throw it up here, and we'll have it. That way, there's context as we're talking. But yeah, dude. I mean, like, there's always a potential for lower, just like there's always a potential for higher. But people are uh, people are tripping out right now, man. I think we're getting some people that are like selling at these levels, which is crazy.
Probably. Yeah. And
Um,
and it's what's interesting also is like you don't know who's selling versus who's saying it.
yeah,
I mean, you got people tweeting and they're tweeting just like their emotions right at that moment. And then
yeah,
we have people who are premeditated
yeah.
and they're trying to come up with any possible logic as to, you know, anything. Like they will use whatever logic to sort of what's the
Mm.
word I'm looking for? Confirm their own bias of
Yeah,
whatever it is.
confirmation bias. Yeah, yeah. It's
And
100%
it's like
confirmation bias.
it's an
Yeah.
intense confirmation bias we're seeing all across the
Yeah.
board. And it's just like people not really taking accountability is really what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough. But anyways,
And
what
dude,
do you
the,
got pulled
the
up
the
here?
dangers to both sides, man, because I've been on the side of getting too deep into confirmation bias as well, right? And you can get that to the upside, and you can get it to the downside, man. It's like the best thing you can do, and this has been probably one of the biggest um, cheat codes for me over the last like year and a half or so. Has been the wolf spaces. As crazy as that sounds, and it's not even because I'm like taking someone else's TA and like using their TA, but it's just because of the fact that it holds you accountable, and you've got all these other people that are maybe looking at it slightly different. They're quote unquote like drawing their own lines, but their lines happen to kind of give you confluence, and it helps you sometimes also check yourself. So, dude, it's been a
100%.
cheat code, man. Just and we know this, like you see like people like Andrew Tate, talk about it all the time, where iron sharpens iron, and like the power of he calls it the brotherhood, right? Like your brothers prepare you for war, is kind of what he
Yes.
says, right? Like he says that all the time, that it's like you need strong people to be around you, to push you to be physically better, mentally better, like all of these things, financially better. I kind of feel like we get that on some of these spaces, as long as it's not an echo chamber and it's respectful, and people come in with their own views and their own backgrounds, dude, it keeps you sharp, man. It keeps you sharp. So
100%.
I'm every week, man, I'm just trying to keep up with the pace of the room and with the conversation. So it's
You
good
know,
stuff.
and by the way, just before we jump into these charts, so
Yeah.
like the Saudi investments forum thing that's going on, like the White House is putting
Mm.
it on. You got Elon, Trump, every possible big person is at this thing, talking about just the enormous amount of money that's being invested in the AI world. I think all those it's so interesting how all those catalysts go. That they say we're not coming out with jobs. It's like I can't even think of the right word other than like a stage. Like it's just like it's so unreal. Like all these fundamentals, if they were accurate to what should be, quote unquote, should be on the charts, Bitcoin would be at $500,000. The S&P would still, I mean, I guess the S&P is kind of in a decent spot, but the S&P would be way higher. Everything would be higher if all these things are true and all these investment things are true. And like we work in the media world as well, so I'm starting to understand like how these things work a little bit, a bit more under the hood. I
Yeah.
think we're all of us who kind of are in these spaces and streams trying to pick these things apart. We start to pick up on stuff like, wait a minute, And I think that's why I've specifically been like, we have to have these technical spaces to
Yeah.
even out the fundamentals, because if you only were to listen to fundamentals, you would assume that Bitcoin is at 200 or 300K, but
Yes.
it's just not the case. It's so bizarre,
Yeah, dude. And I will even say, here, let me see if I can pull it up really quickly. Give me 1 second, because I know I took a screenshot of this and I shared it the other day. But here, let me see. Copy. I'll throw it here on the chart really quickly. But this happens a lot, right? And there's a video by an analyst that I really respect, Alessio Rastani. He's in the crypto space. He also plays TradFi, and he's not heavily active on social media, but he's had a YouTube channel for years, and he's had a private community, and he brings on other traders. And when I say traders, I like, these guys aren't even, they're so far beyond like the caliber of like even what we do, man. These are guys that have been doing this for like 30-40 years, like just true OGs that have seen so much happen in the space already over the years in the financial markets. And he brings them on, and he interviews them, and he asks, and they disagree sometimes, other times they agree. And so Alessio does like awesome content, and go check him out on YouTube, Alessio Rastani. But he put out a video about this this week, and this is the truth, man. This is exactly what ends up happening. He talks about how as you're going up into these points of extreme optimism, of just euphoria, this is the conversation. Fundamentals, this, fundamentals that, price can't go down, fundamentals don't support lower prices. It's always, every single time, this is what you get at the top. And then you get the same thing at the bottoms, but it's the opposite, right? Instead of extreme optimism, you've got the pessimism that's happening at the bottoms. And same thing. Oh, fundamentals. We can't go up because this is bearish, that is bearish, this is breaking, that is broken. People are leaving, blah, 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 blah. And so you get that on both extremes. And understanding this is just such a powerful thing, because it just helps you. It helps you try and like stay a little bit more level headed. Like, it's always, and I know I mentioned this on the Wolf Spaces, right, when we're doing the market talk, but it's always going to be super bullish at the tops. You really don't top on bad news. All of the tops are always on strong fundamentals, strong partnerships, big breakthroughs, innovation. Like, all of these things are always happening at the top. And at the bottom is where everything's breaking. At the bottom is like, this guy went insolvent, this thing shut down, this thing is getting, acquired or sold off, or like the bad news is always at the bottom, man. So this is a good little picture to just kind of keep in mind at all times. It's like, at the top, you're always going to have the talking heads and these mouths on spaces that are just yapping about all this stuff at the top, and then at the bottom you get the inverse. So dude, it's a weird thing, but I've lived through a couple of these already, and it absolutely is spot on. That's exactly how it happens. So we're seeing that like right now with Nvidia. I've got this Nvidia chart on here, and Nvidia's just been on, like, when is this going to end? Like, just, dude, look at this chart, man. Like, where does this slow down? Where does this end?
Does it slow down?
Does it slow down, dude? I don't know, man. This thing is wild, but I do know that nothing goes up forever. At some point, you do have those corrections, and this AI bubble is starting to get interesting. One thing I've noticed is I keep up with a lot of like the PC and the tech industry, that, hardware, compute, all that stuff. And I remember last cycle, ETH mining was disrupting the PC industry, and this affects both, retail PC industry as well as like enterprise. And I remember even when I was still working in my career, the prices of like server equipment, how stupid it got, right? Like, just if you were replacing like a server rack, or you needed a new a new controller, or you needed a new whatever you needed, dude, the prices were astronomical. It was just ridiculous. We're seeing that again right now, but this time, instead of ETH mining, it's AI. People are building, these GPU AI rigs everywhere, and we're starting to see the cost of graphics chips go up. So you can't get graphics cards right now. Memory modules have gone up like 150 to 200%. So memory, and this is memory that goes into like RAM that goes into your smartphone, RAM that goes into video game stuff, PC tech, automotive, like the RAM that goes into basically all of the electronics that we use today. I mean, your smart fridge needs RAM, and that memory's gone up 150 to 200% or so in the last like 6 months. So I don't know. It feels like we're maybe approaching that type of like bubble type behavior. The ETH mining thing popped. You know, are we going to see that with NVIDIA at some point? Who knows, man? It's like, I'm not going to be the one to try and call a top on this thing. It's just absolutely on a tear. But, you know, to think that it can't ever come down or it won't ever come down, I think it's a little bit foolish. And so we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening with NVIDIA, man. And maybe these, when are the earnings? I think that's tonight after the US market closes, right?
Yep, right after. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I would say here, like if we're looking at this on a weekly chart, these EMAs here, off of the big sell-off that we had in April, this 13 EMA on a weekly, 21 EMA here, these have, you know, the prices maintained above that. So if forever, you know, for whatever reason, we were to get a weekly close here below these EMAs, you know, that could be telling. So I'll be kind of looking at it on a high time frame. If something were to happen here, we get a big close like that below the EMAs, could be signaling some short-term weakness and potential for a move lower. So, but right now, dude, this is a strong uptrend. Nothing really bearish about this at all.
Yeah, I see.
So we'll see.
In here.
Yeah, we'll see what happens
the
there.
Is 2 years.
What does he say?
He says life cycle of the chips is 2 years.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy, man, what's happening with all that. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. S&P, same thing, man. Dude, SPX has been on an absolute rip since April, and just, you know, starting to kind of see some signs of weakness. We'll see if this week, same thing, if this gives us a weekly close below this EMA here, so roughly below 66.25 on a weekly closing basis, that could be the first warning signal here. Probably wouldn't immediately melt after that, but it could be what gives us, if we get a close down here, it could come up and give us like that lower high. So that would make a little bit of sense to me. But if, you know, the way this translates back into crypto is if we start seeing stuff like this on NVIDIA, on SPX, you know, NASDAQ, all of that stuff, then, you know, I don't know how that yields to Bitcoin finding some kind of bottom, you know, soon. You know, I don't know if it's conducive to that idea, but we can look at one thing, actually. I have a Bitcoin over equities chart. Let's see if maybe there's something in here. Oof, look at this thing, man. So this is BTC over both SPX and NDX combined, right? So I'm basically taking both of these indices and then just combining them and denominating BTC by both of that. And dude, this has been in free fall. This has been an absolute free fall since beginning of October. And really the next big level that I'd be watching for support, I mean, is still a little bit further down here. So BTC could keep melting down a little bit. If those come down faster, though, that would be what gives us a little bit of relief. So we would need we'd need the TradFi markets to come down faster than BTC for this to kind of get a bounce, or for BTC to stop going lower and those to start dropping, and then you'd get some kind of relief here. But this, dude, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. I mean, you've holding BTC against these equities is just, you're underperforming big time. What kind of a drop is that? Let's just measure it here from like this kind of average 24% against TradFi markets.
I saw Jesus Martinez tweeted something earlier. He's a fellow guy in the crypto world. And
I know Jesus. Yeah.
He tweeted something and he said, by the way, he got his new handle. I applied for the Cade handle. Maybe I get it. 4 letters, probably not going to happen, but I'll take it. It'd be epic if it happened. But he said this is the worst.
How does that work, by the way, though? Are you guys?
I'll send you the link.
Or?
There's a thing you apply for. It takes 2 seconds. Okay. Cool, yeah, and multiple people I know got it, and all they did was literally two buttons, and so it can definitely happen. Cool, I'm not sure what you. Well, real quick, he said that the worst Q4 for Bitcoin in 7 years, currently, and yeah, I mean, we're down 19.9%.
Yeah.
And the worst one prior in the last 7 years was 2022, 14.9%. So we're a
Yep.
full 5% lower than that. It's
Yep.
crazy, dude.
I will say though, like, and I hate that so many people tune out with what I'm about to say, but look, if you can just stay stoic for a little bit, I just want to point something out. In 2021, after the April high, right? Let's measure this move here. Roughly about I'll call it a 50% move down in a matter of about 50 to 60 days. Like, this moves quickly, right? If you were to get something similar to that, you know, even if you didn't get quite as big of a move, but you just came down to this level, it could be a 30% move. And you know, we're only in we're 50 days in, 49 days in, so we're getting close, you know. If it's 50, 60 days, it's like we're right there. With as close as we are to this zone, it kind of makes sense. Like, maybe this is just, you know, it's got maybe a week to 2 weeks left. We find a bottom here on this chart specifically, and then maybe we get a bounce, right? The danger is, though, are we going to repeat what happened here, which would be that this next bounce is just going to be a lower high, right? So, and this is what Calvin's been talking about on the Market Talk Spaces, is that this next bull trap, it's gonna fool a lot of people. It's got to be able to do that. So we'll see if that's the case. I guess the risk could be that this is already the second top, right? You got 1, 2 there, but yeah, this is really telling. This was one of the ones that I think Tony and I were, maybe North Star was looking at this one as well. Yeah, I want to say North Star also looks at this one, but I know Tony and I had looked at this one quite a bit. You already know we like to look at, you know, Bitcoin over gold, which, I mean, look at that, right? So,
Jeez.
yeah, it's been brutal,
quite a
man.
correction.
Absolutely brutal. I don't like the fact that you broke structure here.
Yeah.
And we're close to breaking this low as well. We're not that far from it. If this were to get a close below that, dude, you're definitely changing some character.
Would it be better if we had broken that all-time high and then broken the structure here and gone down? Or
One more time up, you mean?
Yeah, if we had gotten that and then broke through this level, would that have been worse? Or you think you'd be like more comfortable if that was a higher high?
If this had gone higher, and here, let's do it this way, just so. Oh, I can't do it because of the custom symbol. That's right. I hate that it can't do that here. How do I unreplay this thing? I don't know.
Age is saying 87.79 would be an interesting place to set buys. Steve is in the house saying bits with the bear targets. Ryan and Steve going back and forth in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, look, it's less about bear target. It's just about talking what's on the chart. But yeah, look, I guess if we had erased, like, just pretend this never happened, right? Is what you're basically saying. And if this had continued higher, then it's the same thing though, Cade, right? We would still be looking at the same thing. This is prior high.
Oh, no. If we had done that, right, but then we came all the way down, right where we were. But instead
man, dude, yeah. I mean, then I think sentiment would be even worse, because
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like it'd be, dude, this would be an enormous drop. Right? Yeah. As it is right now, this is down 38% against gold, right? So 38% move down. If this had gone higher, I mean, if this had come up even just above the high and we were still down here, you're almost at 50%, dude. That's brutal, absolutely brutal. But I think the risk here though is that it is giving, you know, like this head and shoulder vibe, right? So a lot of people are looking at this and they're like, man, that's like a ugly looking pattern, as opposed to if it had gone higher and had broken down, then it's kind of more of like an ascending channel, an ascending trend that's breaking down, which is still not great. Not great, but yeah, dude, I don't know, man. Like this is not looking good. I have a hard time imagining like how you change this structure back to bullish. Like, it has to lose everything, and then like, what do you have to do? Like, it's just, yeah, I don't know, man. This is just brutal looking, you know. Dude, in a minute, remind me. I really want to pull up the Ethereum chart before we log off today.
Yeah.
That, but so BTC against gold is coming down. BTC against equities is coming down. And and then BTC against USD is coming down. This is the best looking BTC chart, if we're being real, is the dollar denominated. All the other ones look way worse.
Of course. It's the one we all want to look at.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. This is the prettiest one. We've gone uppity up the most, like Landy says, and like we're not even we haven't even broken any kind of structure, man. Yeah. So this is the one chart where we still have a nice clean uptrend.
That's right.
So, but I don't like that the other ones look as ugly as they do. This just tells me how bad the dollar is. The dollar is just so screwed up as a wealth preservation vehicle, I guess you could say, right? Or instrument. Like this clearly tells you that that it's not, like it doesn't serve that function one bit. So, but yeah, man. And so I don't know, we can dig into some like lower term targets where, what does it look like if we catch a bounce? Cause I will say, like, there is a potential for something like this where we're kind of in that bounce territory. What if that's one more leg up, right? Still, and then somewhere up there is where we're going to get our high. I think this is maybe even something Steve's on board with.
That's what I was on board with as well. It doesn't feel like I feel like there's going to be one last hurrah for the Bulls, and they're going to be like, this is it. We told you. And then, that's kind of their big win for the next little bit of time.
Yeah. I think there's three. There's probably three likely higher probability outcomes, right? The first one is this thing just keeps melting down and you break structure. Right. And then we say, okay, this bullish cycle, long-term structure is broken. So that's probably scenario one, is you come down and you break structure. And then we have to consider that. Scenario two is we find a bounce somewhere in here and, we go back up to a new all-time high, right? That's certainly possible. We find a bounce here, works back up, put in a new high, whether that's the cycle high, whether this keeps doing it, who knows? I don't have a crystal ball. Only Steve does.
Of course.
Scenario three, I think, is we catch a bounce somewhere either here or slightly below that. And then we get what Calvin is talking about, which is that lower high, like the big fake out. And then it goes lower. This is probably the most bearish outcome that you could get in terms of like confirmation. But yeah, dude, I guess we'll have to just see what happens.
Yeah, we have Aegis asking. He says, well, on top of the job reports, like that was, we were talking about that right before. They're just gonna not. I don't know if you guys heard, but they're not going to be releasing the jobs reports. Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, you're going to do all this bullish stuff about how much we're investing and how the Saudis are giving us money, and then it's like, okay, give us some real numbers. Like, no, you don't need that right now. He says if it does that and it bounces to a new all-time high, what happens after? Do we have accumulation for a long time? Do we have a sharp retraction to the downside? Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think if it makes a new all-time high, then especially if we don't go lower from here, like if it were to bounce somewhere in this region and we don't break the structure and this goes higher here against the dollar, you have to still keep a long-term bullish bias, I think, until something breaks, because then maybe it pulls back here and then still your structure would still be clean. Your expectation should be that it's going to continue up. As long as it keeps putting in these higher lows, the trend should continue higher and you should be expecting higher highs, right? So it's really the confirmation that something has changed or is in the process of changing comes from the low side, not so much from the high side. Everyone's always looking for, like, how are you going to know on the high side when it's over? It's really on the low side. The pullbacks, the corrections, when those start breaking structure, that's how you know. Now, to give maybe Dom a little bit of a shout out here, I do think it's a little bit worrisome that we lost this level here. Because you can see, like, even in this entire uptrend, BTC hadn't really pulled back and taken out a prior high like this, right? So in this accumulation here, never came down past that. This whole area here never came below that. Here, man, this is like super overlapping and choppy. And this is the first time that it's done that near, a a topping type of formation near a prior high. So, but this doesn't really confirm anything. It's more of like a firing a warning shot, if anything, and just saying like, hey, maybe something's weakening, maybe something's changing. So
Yeah, 100%.
but yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Like I think if it goes higher, we have to remain open to, continuation until something changes. So if this were to go up, then I would just simply say, okay, this is now my invalidation. Like you'd have to come and break that, and then we'd start to question, okay, is something now broken?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, hopefully HSB answered that question. He says,
Yeah.
he says switch to a higher time frame. Everything looks fine.
Yeah, let's just go to like a 2-year time frame, and it just looks like a straight line up, right? So
Yeah, and Ryan brings up a good point. He says a lot of this is about midterms. Got to make sure things look good on the fun. I mean, most people are not looking at the charts like the way we are looking at them. They're looking at them and then looking at the news and saying, well, probably higher. Good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, this is good. This is good. So that's a great point there.
Yeah.
Age is a great question here as well. And by the way, for anyone who's listening and watching back at home, please do take a second and follow Bits. Tagged him right above the stream. He does lots of these streams, lots of spaces with us as well. Definitely worth a follow if you like any of this kind of stuff. You like to stay up to date and, not a bunch of bull bear like nonsense. It's just pretty much what is the chart saying, and just pulling out that data and sort of just putting it out there. Hard to find on crypto Twitter. I'll say that.
Dude, it takes a lot of work to stay pretty level-headed about this stuff.
100%.
It's very easy to get just in your head about something, and then you end up just like the maxis, like just in full confirmation bias. So
yeah, that's right.
It takes work, man. But you know what? This goes back to what I said at the beginning, though. I think having the daily market talk space with the Wolf Crew, dude, it's been a cheat code to just keeping your head screwed on straight. You go on there and you're probably only going to say some silly stuff for like 1 or 2 spaces before people start checking you,
exactly.
or Cade stops inviting you. You know what I
mean? Yeah. It's nothing personal. It's just if you like, it's one thing if you're a trader and you are doing TA, but if like the space's conversation is surrounded on the technicals, so it might be that you can trade, but if every time you come on and it's just a bunch of fundamentals talk, that's fine. It's just like, it's not that I have anything against you or something like that, but it just doesn't fit the conversation. Like it kind of takes us out of the TA.
Yeah, it's got to fit the room. It's got to fit the vibe of the room.
Not that you have to agree with everything, but that's like the general direction of the conversation. And it's kind of a big wrench if we go from TA and then it's just like, here's all the altcoins I stacked. And it's like, well, that's great. And maybe there's a technical reason for it we can dive into, but usually it's just like I believe in this thing, and it's like, well, that's fine. It just doesn't really fit on these conversations.
Yeah, dude. And like, I think you've done a really good job of, how like when you're building a business or you have a company, there's a culture that exists at the workplace, right? There's like a general vibe, energy, like there's a culture, there's a vibe to it for real. And I think like in these spaces that exists as well, like when you have these shows that are recurring and you have people that are coming back as regulars, there's a culture to that. There's a vibe, there's an etiquette, there's all of that. And so I can tell you work really hard to protect that and to make sure that people are adding to it instead of like taking away from that. So
100%.
Ryan, that's hilarious, dude. Look at that comment from Ryan. If he keeps being bearish, I'm gonna unfollow him and refollow.
Oh no, he's cooked. Oh man. See, you gotta get more active, dude. You gotta be as active as OTG. And
dude, you can't be taking 7 trades a month and expect to to have people plugging in, Steve. Like I don't know how it works, man. Nah, Steve's a good sport, man. He's one of the best sports because he lets me rag on him and he takes it and he does really good. So he's a good guy. Ryan as well.
Agreed.
Ryan's awesome.
Agreed.
Dude, look, I mean, we are, we took out this low on BTC, but we are printing a little bit of green, still on like very low volume though. There's just not any kind of follow through here. And I think that's the risk on this. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm still not seeing anything, man. And Popeye actually had a post earlier that I saw, Cade, where he said he had the little praying hands and he's like, please stop longing a downtrend.
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah. And that's what this is, man. It's like people keep trying to snipe these generational entries and it just keeps taking them from people. So You just got to be patient, man. Trust me, there's been a lot of times where I've wanted this thing to reverse and to get on
Yeah.
the long side, just
Yeah, and
because
everyone's got that bias. Every single person we hear
yeah,
from, you got a
yeah,
bias. It's fine to have a bias,
yeah,
by the way, but everyone's
yeah.
got one.
And I think we all would agree that after like a drop this significant, like a bounce makes sense, but we can't force it. Like it's gonna happen when it's gonna happen, man. So
Yep.
I'm being patient. I'm waiting for Steve to call it, and the second he says he's in, I'm gonna take my trade and I'm gonna say that I called it. So that's my plan here, and I'm sticking to it.
Well,
So
Steve, now that we know you're like 6'20" and like
yeah.
200 pounds, it's like now you have to be able to take it. It's one of those things that like, like now I'm like, okay, wait. This guy's like a beast. When I see him in person, when everyone sees him in person, they're not going to be able to do it in person. So it's like, this is the only time we can fit it in. So
I want to arm
it's
wrestle
unfortunate,
Steve.
but
When we meet in
I
person,
think he might be
we're
cooked.
gonna arm wrestle. We're gonna arm wrestle. We're gonna see.
I'm gonna try, but I think he might destroy both of us. Both our hands put together might not be able to take him on. I mean, he's got to hold the crystal ball all day.
Think about the putt. How much putt he plays, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be rough.
It might be. It might be, Cade.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
So let's look, I want to touch on ETH.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's circle over to ETH.
Let's also come back to stablecoin dominance at the end. Hopefully we have time for that. But yeah, so not a whole lot more to add in terms of like BTC. Strong downtrend confluence in different ways of looking at it, right? Whether you look at this against gold, you look at it against equities, BTC is just going down against everything at the moment. So, strong downtrend, don't fight it. Are we approaching some levels of interest where we could find a bounce? Yes, this could still go down. Like I've got this line here at like 85.7. I drew this line on here, just for Joe. And I wanted to make sure I drew this one for him. And yeah, so like maybe it goes down to Joe's line here and that's where we get a bounce, or maybe we get it here currently if buyers can step in. So, but clean downtrend. We'll see what happens. At this point, though, and I think we do a really good job of mentioning it on Spaces, I don't think there's a lot of value to trying to get max short or flipping bearish at these levels, even if it keeps coming down. ROI is just not there. Like, what are you going to catch? Maybe another, 5% to the downside. Like, unless you're scalping, I don't know that it makes a lot of sense. So it's like, if you weren't short off the highs, you had some really great opportunities, by the way. Like if you weren't short before the liquidation event up here at these previous highs, there were some signs up there you should have been looking short. If you didn't grab that one, this one here would have been good as well. But this one was one of my favorite ones. This bearish retest here of like the 107, such a clean opportunity to get short. So if you didn't take that, I think you just kind of need to be waiting right now. You got to be patient. Let's flip over to ETH because this one is finally coming down to that zone, Cade, that I talked about this morning on the Market Talk. It is finally coming down to fill that little imbalance down here. So
it always does.
Dude, it is wild, man. It is wild how often it'll do this. But
why does it do that?
Well, because markets are efficient and they don't like inefficiencies. Markets will, the same way people talk about like the CME gaps in terms of Bitcoin and how the CME gaps always get filled, right? That's because that's an inefficiency in the market, and markets are efficient by nature. They want to be efficient. They want to take care of any imbalances and any inefficiencies. And so they will correct that most of the time. And this was somewhere where you had a breakout on Ethereum to the upside. It printed a nice little gap here. And so now we're just coming down to kind of fill that and balance out liquidity at these levels. So it's been a level that I've been watching. It's also part of the reason why I haven't quite pulled the trigger on BTC yet, because it didn't make sense. Like why would BTC bottom while ETH was kind of mid-range and not at like a key level, right? And even some of the other alts, like even Solana was kind of up here, hanging out in the 140s, where really the big level for Solana is down near 120, right? So even this one didn't make sense. It was like, no, there's still room to the downside. Like why Solana hasn't even taken out this low from June. How can we be ready for like a big bottom? It makes no sense. Like we needed to come a little bit further. So I think we're getting that confirmation on ETH first. We'll probably see Sol follow here in a bit, as well as some of the other alts once that happens. But yeah, this is a big level, dude. Like this, check this out. This is a weekly chart here. And you can see just the amount of support resistance that takes place at this level. Like back here, you had all of this is support, then we lost it and it turned into resistance for months. So it was like you're above this level for months, you're below this level for months, and it tends to just blow through it. It doesn't really chop at this level very much. That's why you have such a deep valley here in the volume profile. This is a price where ETH has not really had a lot of price acceptance. It's almost like you're either rejecting from that level or you're melting straight through it. You're really not sitting here accumulating or distributing at this level. There's not a lot of consolidation that happens for Ethereum here at like 2,800. We've either been above 28 or we've been below 28. It's either been support or it's been resistance. So we're now coming down to kind of balance that out right here. So you've had period of support, period of resistance, period of support, period of resistance. Are we about to get a period where this supports Ethereum and then allows it to go higher, right? That's kind of the question that I think is about to be answered here by these charts. It could also melt straight down through it as we've seen in the past, and then it turns back into resistance and we go lower, right? But
yes,
what I do know is that this is a very, very key level for Ethereum, and we're just now approaching it. So let's see what happens here at this level for ETH, dude. On a high time frame, though, this is where it's going to get a little scary. I'm gonna do a couple things to this chart just to help highlight what potentially might be happening here.
Shout out Landy in the chat as well. Shout out As Imports on YouTube.
Dang.
That's all of you for coming through. We got the whole team pulling up.
Dang, man.
Yeah,
why are so many people watching me? Just a pajama line trader. You know what I mean?
It's not you, Bits. They want to know if ETH is done for. They want to know if it's over.
Dude, check this out. All right, so here's Ethereum. I've inverted the candlestick color, right? So now red is up, green is down. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're going to invert the chart. Okay.
Wow.
So this is Ethereum's chart. Okay. Now, if we ignore the fact that it's inverted, if we were just looking at this, like if someone handed you this chart on a sheet of paper, you didn't know what it was. You didn't even really care about the price scale. You just had this, what's inside of this box here. You just had this here. Someone handed it to you. They told you, hey, this is a monthly chart, or this is a chart that goes back, to 2018 through current. And they hand it to you like this in this format. So inverted. You don't know it's inverted, but they hand it to you like this. What would you be thinking here? I can tell you that one of the first things I'd be saying is, okay, I'm trying to make some observations. So one of the first observations is I'm going to say, okay, we're towards the bottom of this chart. Cool, right? We're towards the bottom. This is the top. We're towards the bottom. I'd say, ooh, there's an interesting, level down here where we bottomed previously. And price came exactly down to that level again. In fact, it went slightly through it, but not by much. Just slightly went below this prior level back here from 2021. Okay. So you had a slight little deviation outside of that. I'd be also thinking, okay, you had these two big bottoms here. Price is now above that as well. So I'd be thinking, okay, there's probably like a zone down here in that case, something that's being, reclaimed after this little deviation. And your like initial feel, your expectation would be that this thing is heading higher. You had all the opportunities to go to the downside to lose this, and instead you got a fake out below it, and it's now reclaimed it, and it looks like it's heading higher. So where would my initial eyes be looking in terms of like a draw of where liquidity would be pulling? So here would be my initial thought, is like, okay, we're definitely going here. We're potentially going here, right? So somewhere around this level, we're potentially going there. That makes sense as well. And then I'm thinking, man, if it goes to all of that, like, what's to say that it's not going to come up here somewhere? And this is where it gets scary because we know that it's Ethereum. We know that it's inverted, and we know that those numbers are scary. Like, can you imagine even just going to take out the bear market low from 2022 puts us at like $800 Ethereum when Tom Lee and all these treasury companies were buying over here at almost 4,000. So what's going to happen to ETH if and we're making a lot of assumptions. We're assuming that this isn't going to continue lower. We're potentially assuming that maybe this cycle is topped, right? Let's make that assumption that it's potentially topped, or that at least we're going into a period of bearish price action, and maybe next year, if cycles are broken, maybe next year we get a move up, and we have a bull year or a bullish half of next year or something, right? Like, sure, let's just make some assumptions. But so far, dude, if you handed me this here without the scale, without knowing it's Ethereum, without knowing it's inverted, and I'm just making some basic observations on the price action, this looks like it failed to go lower, and then this should now be coming up here. So I should be looking at about 1,400 again, and I'm probably looking at even sub 1,000. And if it gets enough momentum, if this thing is strong enough that it rips through all of this, why couldn't it go up here? Like, this is just crazy to even think that this is possible because it's Ethereum. But, dude, this is not a healthy looking chart, man. This needs to get below here ASAP. Otherwise, this is starting to become a lot more probable. Like, this needs to roll over immediately and do that. Otherwise, these targets become way more probable. So this thing looks scary, dude. This thing looks super scary. It's not over, but it doesn't look healthy. I think we would need to, like, somewhere in here, like, you're going to need a rejection here pretty quickly. So, like, you maybe don't want under like 2,200 ETH. Dude, yeah, ETH is brutal. It looks absolutely brutal right now. Let me remove a lot of these drawings and then we'll put it back to normal. But yeah, I told you to be kind of crazy. It'd be a little out there, but dude, it's just what's on the chart, man. Like, this, it's what it looks like, I put this back to standard, uninverted. There you go. So yeah, dude, could ETH be cooked, man? That's the question. Could ETH?
I see Landy in here leaving some comments, says ETH going to zero. The Bitcoin test failed. And then he said, sorry, that was my Mac me speaking. That's hilarious. By the way, Joe, I saw tweeted 2 days ago that Bitcoin, he said back over 100K Bitcoin this week. And then that was 2 days ago. And then today, and then 1 day later, he tweeted out it's coming. So he's got a few days. Over 100K would be quite a reversal from here. I mean, that's on Bitcoin specifically. I imagine if Bitcoin rips, Ethereum will have some nice recovery as well. Yeah. And that could be it. I'm not sure what he's calling for specifically that would be that catalyst. But
I mean, sometimes it's just as simple as people stop selling, right? Selling slows down, and buyers pick up on that and start buying, and you get a reversal. But dude, right now it just looks brutal. Looks absolutely brutal. I will say though, I did put out a Bitcoin, back to 120K by early December idea. Granted, I think we were closer to like 97 at the time, 98 at the time, and the expectation would have been that it did like a reclaim of 100K, and then it worked its way up and flipped 107 back into support, and maybe something like that could have happened. So but dude, anything's possible. We find a bounce here and this thing starts ripping up. If it can get back above this like 98 to 100K zone, I'm not going to say it's impossible. It certainly could happen.
Bitcoin is literally at $89,000. It's $89 and $17. I'm trying to get this screenshot. Man, we are. I see Landy said 88.7K. That must be around his range of where he thinks maybe. I mean, I'm not sure, Landy, if you're talking about a bounce from there or what specifically, but we're coming close to that. Jeez. I mean, we're within $300 of that.
Yeah, we're right here at 89.028 on the Binance chart. So
this is wild.
Dude, we actually, here's what's crazy is yesterday on the live trading session we're doing inside Lady Traders community, We took this short up here off of the rejection from the yearly open. Dude, that's been such a killer trade so far.
Really?
But this was, yeah. No, we did this live. So we're jumping on live every single day, but we grabbed it right here at 93.2 or something like that. We took that trade. And then you even had this second opportunity after it came down. It gave you the retest here. I know some of the guys took the retest versus the initial entry, but yeah, we took it right here just on the break of the 13 and the 21. 13 if you're being aggressive, 21 if you want to wait a little bit for the confirmation. But took that trade there. We took it on SWE. We took it on a couple others, and it just absolutely has printed.
Oh my God, Bitcoin is crashing.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is bad. We're about to hit 88.7.
Yeah.
We really are about to hit that.
It's all good, man.
No, I'm just tracking. I'm fine. I don't know how. Look, I've said it before in the spaces. I'm full ported to Bitcoin, and I don't know why everyone's so upset all the time. I'm like, dude, it's fine. Like, you like Bitcoin, and if you're a long-term holder, this is fine. You will just buy lower. Like, I don't understand. Dude, I mean, like, we're not at 40K. Like, we are not 40K where I would get it. You know, if you're upset, like, I would be like, of course. But at this level, I'm like, guys, why are you so angry?
Let me give you some hopium. So this is stablecoin dominance. Here, let me hide this so I can give you some proper hopium.
Let's do it.
All right. So this is stablecoin dominance. USDT plus USDC dominance is combined, right? I don't like to do just one alone. I like to combine them. And the reason I combine them is USDT used to have about 80%, maybe a little bit more of the stablecoin dominance just a few years ago. Right now, it's closer to like about 60% or so. USDC has really been taking a lot of that market share from them. So in my opinion, if you leave out USDC, you're not getting a true clear picture of what stablecoin dominance is doing, because you're leaving out, like, 40% of the picture currently. And, you could be minting stable coin value on USDC, and that would technically throw off your USDT dominance percentage because it could be losing market share, but that doesn't necessarily mean that people are converting stable coins back into crypto. So, so I like to combine them, but here's your hopium, dude. So the last two big bottoms for BTC have happened at roughly this level that we're currently at right now. This was August, September of last year of 2024, right before the big rally into Christmas, right? Notice it's right here at these current levels, like right around like 8.5% of this stablecoin dominance chart. This was April of this year, at the big pullback to like 74K again. Right here, same level, like 8.5, 8.6% stablecoin dominance. We're currently at 8.64. We're right there. We're right in the area where if this trend, if this range is going to hold, right, this range here, if this is going to remain the stablecoin range that we're kind of jumping back and forth in, we're like ping pong in here. This is where you'd expect this to reverse. Like, it's not going to happen instantly. It might take some days. It could take a week, but we're right in that area, dude. Like, if you believe this range is going to hold, most of the downside for crypto, and in this case, most of the upside for stablecoin dominance is probably already played out. Like, you're at the top, basically.
Yeah.
Now here's where I'm gonna flip it to like a little bit more bearish copium, I guess, for you guys, right? Which would be if this time is different, and the condition for why this could maybe go higher and why it would not top out here would be because this last top in BTC put in a higher low bottom on stablecoin, whereas previously this was March 2024, this was December 24, January 25. So we had been topping down here, we had been bottoming up here, and this recently we got this bottom up here in this zone that we really hadn't bottomed in before. So even though BTC's price went higher, stablecoin actually put in a higher low. So, that would beg the question, instead of a rejection here, are you actually looking at something more like this, where it has additional upside still, because the trend is now going up instead of just like a flat range side to side?
Interesting. Do you here, I see a few people left some comments here as well. Let me see if interesting. It says Landy, there's some safe room. Yeah, if you guys have any thoughts on the stable coins, guys, definitely let us know. I guess they're still talking. Oh, this is from a few minutes ago. They're talking about Bitcoin here.
Yeah, look,
Some safety around
Landy's
85,
levels are
86.
spot on though for BTC.
They really are, dude. He is
Like
solid.
this is where it needs to bounce if we're gonna hold this general zone. Otherwise,
Mhm.
he's right. Like my next big level is 85.7. It's down here where it's marked. I don't even have a zone on it. It's just a horizontal.
You're like, I've forgotten about that. That'll come back. It's an ancient zone, but definitely one that feels like a bit of a mag. It feels like there's a bit of a magnet.
I
Now,
haven't
we could
really
rip
looked down
after,
here,
but at the same time.
Yeah, well, I was ignoring like having to look this far down because I didn't think we'd get a move this strong this consistently, like just continued down pressure. So yeah, as funny as it sounds, people always think I'm ultra bearish, but dude, I thought there was a reasonable chance that we were going to hold 100K and we didn't. And then now I still think there's a reasonable chance we could hold this rough, 90K zone. So
Yeah, 100%.
I'm being a little bit bullish here, if you will.
Insane.
So
the bull.
But dude, stablecoin dominance, man. So I would say if you're hopeful and you think the bottom is near, I would say, well, look, this agrees with you. Prior highs for stablecoin dominance are right here at this level. If if this starts turning around here, then potentially this is a huge bottom, big significant bottom for BTC based on stablecoin dominance. But if we look at the data and we take into account the fact that this was a higher low instead of another low down here where it has historically, then we potentially can assume that it may make a higher high as well. There's an interesting fractal that we discovered yesterday. I can't remember who. I think it was Andrea Capellini that shared it. Dude, this is going to blow your mind. Okay. This is, I promise you, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. Okay.
Ready.
This is stablecoin. Like, get ready to have your mind absolutely blown. Landy's probably going to like this. Okay. So notice all my zones, all this structure, all of this is already here. And this was already set. I haven't changed anything. And then Andrea tells me, dude, look at this structure from 2021, the way 2021 topped, because this was the first. You got to remember stablecoin dominance. When stablecoin dominance is going up, crypto is going down, right? They're inverse. When stablecoin dominance is going down, that means crypto is going up. So when stablecoin dominance is going up, these are the bear markets. When stablecoin dominance is coming down, these are the bull markets. Okay, very, very, very simple. So same thing here. When this bottomed here, that was a top for crypto. When this was going up and bottomed, this was a pullback and a bottom for crypto, right? And then this is coming back up, and then top or bottoms here. This is the top for crypto. So these are inversely correlated. Crypto is doing that while stable coins are doing this. Just to preface what the data is going to be. So knowing that, this back here was the first top in 2021, and then this was the second one. So this was Q1 in March, and then this was that November top, and then all of this here was the bear market into bear market lows, right? So basically, that's what happened here. Even though the actual bear market lows were a little bit after that, but this was basically that drop in stablecoin or in crypto liquidity into stablecoins. Okay, so check this out. Okay, this is going to absolutely blow your mind. If we take a fractal of this topping structure from 2021, I'm going to grab this bars pattern over here. I'm just going to grab it off of the low to the high, right? So bottom to top. So this would be, crypto top to crypto potential bottom, right?
Okay.
Look what happens.
Oh my God.
Dude, I'm gonna fit it a little bit just for the size, but we're not manipulating.
Whoa.
We're not manipulating the structure. We're just kind of fitting it. Tell me this doesn't play perfectly, even with the levels I have on the chart. This could pump up here, flip the structure to support, flip the channel, and then we are in full bear market.
Dude,
that is absurd. Look how beautiful this fits, dude. Like even this little hitch, the fact that it tops, and even this little hitch right here before it went lower, even that fits. dude, this is absolutely wild. This blew my mind last night. How well this little fractal here
People don't look at
from
this,
back
dude.
here.
They only look at the staircase of Bitcoin. They
I
don't
know.
even like the stable coin. Wow. That is insane, actually.
Dude, so this and here, so here's the scary thing, right? Even if we are finding a bottom here soon, this is suggesting that this next move up could be it. That would be the lower high. And then this would be bear market dumping down to who knows what.
Brother.
Crazy. Now, I'm not calling that this is going to play out exactly as that. I just find it fascinating that there are things that rhyme so closely. Like there are things that repeat like this. It just blew my mind. It would be wild.
I'm making notes here of like moments in the stream where I'm like, this might be an important part to come back to. This is actually crazy.
Dude, this blew my mind. I didn't think it was moving this similar to last time, because just by looking at it, you really don't spot it. But dude, it's here. Like, oh my God, the level.
How much did you adjust it? How much did you adjust it?
I just minimized it a little bit just to fit within the tighter range. Like, dude, this is the pattern without adjusting it, right? Like, even still, it's pretty damn close.
Wow.
All I did was I tweaked it down a little bit to fit inside of these highs. Like, that is not a whole lot of adjustment. Like, dude, that is still super close.
The one piece of analysis I'm missing is I can't remember what I wasn't paying attention enough, like, to the things that mattered last cycle top. I remember the last cycle top.
No.
I don't remember, like, because I see all the guys coming out now and like their takes for why we're going to have an insane 2026 make so much sense to me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like hedged, I'm hedged in terms of like my allocation of Bitcoin is in case they're right. Yeah. And then my job is the hedge if we end up going lower. I just like, that's the only way I can position it until I'm ready for the next cycle. But like, good Lord, man. I mean, I'm trying to remember what it was like at the last cycle. Like, who were the people shouting? What was the type of rhetoric they were saying? Because obviously it's going to be the same. It's always the same, but it rhymes, right? So it's going to be different announcements, but of the same spirit. But to see this stablecoin chart, bro, what in the world?
Dude, it's
Landy,
wild.
Yeah, we're going to have to get on a stream with all of us here and see what you think about this.
Yeah, Landy would definitely be the dude to have on here to like help break down why this either would or wouldn't play out in this way or how it could be different. But
100%,
dude, this just blows my mind. And really, like, stablecoin dominance, all of this is just liquidity. Like, everything we're looking at is just like liquidity cycles, how liquidity moves from risk on to risk off. It's really all it is. So dude, but this fractal, and again, I didn't find this. This was Andrea Capellini, I believe is his last name. Dude picked it up somehow, and I pulled out my own chart and I threw it on there, and I was like, mind blown, absolutely mind blown that it fit this well with just like a minor tweak to get it to line up in here. Absolutely wild. So, dude, I mean, like, these are the main charts I wanted to look at, was like BTC and compare it against equities and gold. I wanted to show you that ETH inverted chart of potentially what like the worst case scenario for ETH could look like. Cause I think that's probably what it is. It's like, that's the worst case scenario.
Yeah. Of course.
Is that it's going to go down to some of those numbers. And then this stable coin fractal here of like, could this be repeating from back here? God, like dude, it's just crazy.
It doesn't look anything like it. It's so crazy like that. It really doesn't look like it until you pull that up. It's
until you grab it, you're like, boom, there it is. Wow. Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Well, I will say this, like, for all the people who think that clickbait is everybody, Bits just lined us up for potential clickbait and he delivered. He delivered. He said, "This is going to blow your mind." I was like, "All right, this is not going to blow my mind." And is insane.
This will blow your mind. Yeah,
that's actually insane. If you're in the chat, if you're watching right now, let us know if Bits did blow your mind indeed. Or
dude, this will trigger some maxis. This will trigger some maxis,
that's
dude. Some of the macro guys. This is going to trigger the macro guys. You can't just draw lines. You can't just take a pattern from over here, and maybe you can't. But I just find it fascinating how well it fits. And not just how well it overlays on the price, but how well it's fitting with the levels. how well it's fitting with the structure of the channel and the horizontals. Like, dude, if this was only fitting price, but it wasn't fitting like the structure, nah, this is working within the structure beautifully. This would be exactly what you would need to see to flip this into support, to then say that, you know, now this is going to go higher.
Mm-hmm.
You would need exactly that type of price action here. Very choppy, spending time, come down. That's it, dude. Absolutely mind blowing. Yeah.
Dude, I don't even know what to say after
I
that.
don't think I have anything else to
ridiculous.
say after that.
No,
like
there's we'll do the privacy stuff another time. Like that's honestly crazy. There's no reason. Like I feel like if we add more, it almost takes
no,
away
this is
from
it. Yeah. No,
perfect.
this dude, those are the 3 charts like I wanted to really cover. Yeah.
Dude, that was okay. 2 things. That was a fire stream. If you're like I said, if you're in the chat right now, if you're watching, please give Bits a follow. This is like only the beginning, I will say. And you know, we've got an infinity in these markets. Fortunately, these markets are quite literally 24/7. Yeah. And so, you know, the more you guys engage with him and follow him, the more he can do more of these charts as well. And we try and get him on as often as we can, of course, on the spaces. But it is fun, you know, checking out these streams and a few of these guys and girls who enjoy doing these as well. So you know, definitely show support, give him a follow. Man, that was actually crazy. I'm like honestly at a loss for words right now. That was honestly crazy.
That was me last night, dude. I was watching that and I was like, what? Like, there's no way. There's no way.
You got me out here talking like Steve. I just keep saying honestly because I can't believe it. I'm just at a loss for words.
Yeah, that's how I felt last night, man. I could not believe how well it fit. I still can't really believe how well.
I mean, just imagine, dude. Kathy Wood just amended all her Bitcoin predictions by a large margin and says stablecoins are actually going to get a ridiculous amount of volume. Yeah. I have to agree with her. I think there's no reason that Bitcoin couldn't also get some of the same lending yield opportunities that the stablecoins would get, plus the upside potential. But for a period of time, if we end up downtrending, obviously you're going to want to be in stables rather than Bitcoin for that period of time.
Yeah.
But, you know, in my head, I'm like, everything lines up perfectly for us to have a bit of a slowdown for a year. I'm like, could the timing really work out exactly on track with the liquidity? And like, could it really happen like that? And my head is like, of course it will, but we won't know. You know, that's why the only thing we can do is really cover this day to day. So I appreciate it, man. This is fun. I see Landy in here. Says an excellent stream or a fantastic stream. Agreed.
Appreciate that, brother.
Says, I understand the new issuance of stablecoins is going to play a huge role.
Yes.
Large role.
I agree.
Agreed. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Like the other component we didn't tie into this, which probably does, is like market cap. Yep. Mm-hmm. Stablecoin market cap. Yep.
Exactly. And for people who are, if you're watching this and you're like not fully sure what that means, you can keep tuning into the spaces because the stablecoin conversation is going to get bigger. Yes. And you'll start to understand this in context. Because like if the stablecoin market cap keeps growing, that means people are putting more money into stables, less money into, you know, your favorite altcoin. Yep. And how that affects liquidity, how that affects money moving into the market doesn't mean they're always going to full port into Solana anymore. Right. They might sit in a stable coin for a long time and they might pick and
especially
choose.
If there's good like yield instruments around.
Exactly.
Stable. Like imagine if there's going to be 8, 10, 12, 14, 15% yield opportunities in stables, I don't know that as many people are going to be taking risk in crypto as opposed to just doing that, especially the more traditional crowd.
Yep. That's right. Hey, dude. Well, fire stream again.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
That was fire. I mean, that was all you, dude. I'm just here for the vibes. And to have my mind blown.
Dude, the vibes help me get in the vibes. You know what I mean? It's like you're the vibes architect, dude. That's what what is it? Is it the wall chain thing? That's the like
wall chain?
Yeah, I think so. I'll send it to you, but it's like it's got you ranked on like people's social feed.
Oh, yes.
And it calls you or the Wolf account. It calls it the vibes architect.
Dude, that's right. I did see that.
That's 100%, dude. Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah.
Let's go. Well, it's a great compliment for myself. That's I've said so many times now in the last like month or two, but like that high school counselor that was just like, you know, you're good at getting people to say things to you, but I can't imagine what possible skill and job that would be for you. And I was just like, well,
they didn't know spaces were going to be a thing.
Yeah, no, they literally, I mean, podcasts weren't even a thing at that point, barely. I mean, I don't know when Rogan started his, but podcasts weren't like a thing until like, I remember because it was like 2020 COVID time and everyone was making a podcast. That's when they really took off. And at that point, everyone was like, it's too saturated. Like, you know, people aren't going to be interested in this kind of longer form discussion conversations. And then it became live conversations because people could join. And the amount of traders we've met through these spaces that just jumped on one day. And we were like, yo, you were cool. Like, come back next week.
Yeah.
And then, next thing you know, they're in the team, they're in the squad kind of thing. And now they've got
Team assembled itself almost.
Exactly. So yeah, man. Anyways, I appreciate you on the stream, dude.
Yeah, thanks
as
for
always,
hosting,
and 100%. And for everyone who's watching back at home, thank you all for tuning in. This is super fun. Hopefully you learned something.
Definitely.
If you enjoyed yourself, we'll be back on. Me and Bits do this stream once a week on Wednesdays, same time, 1:30 Eastern. We do spaces on the trading, the bigger panels, but Bits is one of them. He co-hosts a lot of those spaces with us, and that's at 11 a.m. Eastern most days during the week.
Yep.
And on Thursdays we do it at 4 p.m. It's more of a evening show, and then Sundays we do like the late evening show. That's always fun on Ostium. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Be sure to follow Bits. He's tagged right above us in the stream, and I'm sure he'll be live again in the next 24 hours on some kind of platform. So man, we'll see you guys on the next one.
See you guys. Peace.